This show is brought to you by PPR Capital Management. Did you know there's a way to invest passively in real estate and get monthly income without dealing with tenants, maintenance, or property management? If you're an accredited or high net worth investor, you can earn cash flow without the headaches by investing in a private equity real estate fund. With nearly $1 billion in assets under management, PPR has provided investors with steady, truly passive monthly income since 2007 without ever missing a payment. To learn more, check out pprcapitalmanagement.com/birds. Welcome back to season 3 of Between the Vines. It's the single best wine podcast on the planet, where we try to bring you all of the updates from the Eagles games and wine tastings from around the area. I am Todd. This is Trey. Trey, where are you at today?
Man, today I'm out here in Lehigh Valley, man. I'm getting ready to go to my son's game tomorrow. So yesterday we had the Eagles game, the tailgate and everything. I was tailgating all day yesterday. Went out there to go watch the Eagles play Dallas and beat them down. And then we drove out here to Lehigh, man, came out to this winery called Vynecrest. Really beautiful winery out here, man. It's just an awesome atmosphere out here. So we just came out here to have some wines, man, talk some football, and get ready to go enjoy a little some Mountain Hawk football.
Mountain Hawks. Let's go Mountain Hawks.
Yeah.
Do they say
Lehigh.
Hawks? Is it Go Hawks?
So. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll start that. Go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks.
You were at the game last night, huh?
I was at the game. Did a lot of tailgating, just hung out.
I feel like the whole city of Philadelphia and the whole surrounding metro area was at the game last night. Everybody was hitting me up like, "Hey, you down here?" And I'm like, "No.
Yeah.
I'm up in Michigan."
Yeah, man. Yeah, everybody. Well, I mean, you're in Michigan for a huge moment. So before we even get to that, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, yeah, we do have to do all that. We do have to do all of that because I'm going to, to toast right here, the Vynecrest. This is the oh no, man, I just messed up the name of it. But this is one of the wines that they have here. It's white, it's chilled, beautiful wine. A Treminette. Yes, I believe that's the name of it. I knew I was going to mess it up when he said it, but I'll make sure that we.
It looks like a nice crisp white right there. I like that logo, dude.
Crisp white. Logo. Yeah, man, beautiful wine. But we got to say, yeah, the Eagles win was huge, but we have to cheers you because of the reason that you're in Michigan right now. Go ahead and let the people know, man. Let them know why you're in Michigan, why you missed Banter Night.
All right, so I'm holed up in a little hotel in Saginaw, Michigan right now because after 20 years finishing my college career, they have decided to induct me into the Saginaw Valley State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Awesome work.
So there's
cheers to you.
There's a little dinner induction tonight, and then they got the game tomorrow. We'll do like a little halftime thing, and then I'll be back to the East Coast with my family.
That's awesome, man.
I appreciate it, Trey. Yeah, it's a cool
congratulations.
Line. It's like one of those things. Like, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, dude. Well
deserved. That, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, like I was telling you before the show, you had a lot to do with it, man. If I finished playing ball when I was done in college, more than likely I wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame here. So it's all the stuff that followed that helped, enshrine me in there. And I mentioned in my speech tonight that, when I got there, you always look for mentors and people to lean on. And, you, especially you, like Big Run and Jack were just a great group of guys to, take me under your wing and show me the ropes and how to be a true pro. So I appreciate that, bro.
All right, so let's get into this game, man.
Yeah, tell me about the vibe first, because it looked like it was just a scene last night.
Dude, the energy was through the roof. You just knew everybody was fired up. I went out there, did a lot of tailgating, went and hollered at Hugh. Hugh Douglas launched his cannabis company, so cannabis business. So I went out there, supported his tailgate. So I bounced around to a lot of the tailgates, just hung out, man, with just the energy with the fans and everything, man, because they know what this is going to be. Banner night. It's against Dallas. There's prime time, man. It was just the energy was just there, and and then here we go. It's game time,
Oh yeah,
it's game time, and you get the kickoff, and you have I can't think of the player that got injured.
It was Van Sumeren.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use him a little bit as like a fullback type player here and there. But
okay,
yeah, dude, you never like to see that opening kickoff of the season.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, bro. When I saw that, and then I was just like, man, I don't know if this is a great start.
Yeah,
and then what?
No.
And then what happened next, Trey?
And then next, so I'm sitting in the suite with B West and all of us. We all in there just talking trash and everything, and you see, okay, at first it's like, all right, hey, there's a penalty with Jalen Carter, and I'm like, all right, at first I'm like, okay,
he's fired up.
Yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And then they showed it on the screen where he hocked Tua, spit on Dak Prescott, and I'm like, okay, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
That's and you get ejected and you see him walking off the field. And I think that right there gave Dallas energy that they really didn't have. They really didn't want this game. You just got rid of one of your best players on your team with Micah Parsons. And then you go out there and you have this incident happen with Jalen Carter. I felt like you gave that team a boost that they really didn't want. I think this team was ready to just roll up. But, when you go out there and you get one of your best defensive players kicked out of the game with just 0.2 seconds taken off of the clock, that's deflating.
That's exactly what I was thinking, dude. They gave Dallas a huge boost pregame. Dallas spent their offseason thinking about how they're going to handle Jalen Carter. They drafted a guy that they called the Jalen Carter neutralizer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, it would have
been,
it would have been so good to see Jalen Carter go out there and just wreck that dude. You know what I mean? Because I think the last sacks that he gave up in college were to Jalen Carter.
Yeah. And now, Tyler Booker is one of my guys from IMG. He was on. I coached him his senior year, so I had a little mixed bag. I'm like, man, I really want you to do well.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Because he was my lead dog down there at IMG. So it was good to see him go out there and play. But I think I felt at first I'm like, man, Jalen Carter's about to go out here, man. This is gonna be awesome, man. But man, going up against Tyler Booker, this is gonna be a huge matchup.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see it next time around, right?
Yeah, next time around. Hopefully they won't have this incident again. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean that right there, I felt was just a bit too much. To spit on someone, man. You got to have a little bit
that's
more.
like, it's honestly one of the most disrespectful things you can do, right?
Absolutely.
It might be the most disrespectful thing you can do. You know what I mean? But I saw that immediately, and I was just like, oh God, dude, come on.
Yeah.
I know he's a loose cannon, and that's what makes him so good and so effective, but this is not the start we wanted, and then just kind of watching him walk off. And it looked like I was trying to read his lips, and it just kind of looked like he had that little smirk, and he was just like, man, that's some bullshit, kicking me out for this shit.
Yeah.
But then come to find out, I was really down about that. I was like, man, this team's immature. And then, you see some taunting penalties and some other things throughout the game. And I was like, man, this team lacks discipline. Is that what we lose when we lose BG and some of the other guys, some of the veterans that were over there? I know we're young, but we still got to be disciplined. We're returning champs. We got to act like we've been there before. I was expecting it to be a chippy game, but I was expecting Dallas to be the ones that were being chippy, and then us acting like we're a little better than that. Come to find out, why did it take 3 hours until they revealed that Dak was the one that spat first?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole Spitgate thing, man. I mean, it's almost like a Seinfeld episode when they was like, all right, he spit a loogie or whatever it was. I mean, it was just too much, and to lose Jalen Carter like that, it was just too. But for him, he was wrong. He was dead wrong.
Absolutely, you got to be able to control yourself. I tell my kids all the time, you cannot control what other people do to you. You can only control what you do back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you got to have a little more discipline. You got to be able to hold yourself in a little bit. But I'm still thinking, why did it take so long for them to just surface this whole thing about Dak? Here's my thought, dude, and tell me if you follow.
Okay. All right.
The NFL was probably thinking this could be a great story arc for Dak, coming into the off season or out of the off season. There's been a bunch of hate about him and stuff like that. And they lost Micah, and maybe they would have buried him spitting the whole time if he would have ended up winning that game. But once it looked like they weren't going to win the game, he was like, they're like, well, we might as well let him know how it really happened. You know?
Yeah, he spat first.
The storyline, yeah, and everybody knows you're supposed to you swallow, not spit. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's just not.
All right.
You can't spit on people, bro.
No. You definitely can't spit on anyone, man. But but then as the game went on, I felt like, I felt like we didn't look as sharp as we should have. Yeah, we got the win, but it wasn't like a blow the doors off, like, oh my God, this team is. It looked like you didn't play a lot of preseason games, like you didn't play any preseason games. Like
True.
You said, there were a lot of undisciplined plays, a lot of penalties. Like the one, where was it Cooper DeJean, or I don't know which one it was, where you had the one little hit in the end zone. I don't know what he was supposed to do to avoid that.
I think that was Reed.
Yeah, Blankenship. Yeah, so that was Blankenship. So I don't know what you can do to avoid that. That I felt like the refs were a little ticky tacky with that one. Now with the Jalen,
I felt like they were a little ticky tacky with a lot of the defensive secondary. I mean, they called that PI on Adore in the end zone. Yeah, he grabbed the dude, but they were kind of throwing flags. They weren't allowing a lot of contact. I think they called one on Quinion too.
Yeah.
I think we kind of made a living like being physical DBs last year, and it almost seemed like the refs were like, not this year.
Yeah. I felt like the refs were a little too involved in the game at some point. Even with Nolan Smith, with the tackle that he made, was that taunting? I don't know. He was excited about making a tackle.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think if he walked in a different direction, it would have been fine. You know what I mean?
You just can't bow up walking into him like, yeah, and you walking to the guy that you just tackled. I felt like that,
He probably wasn't saying like, yeah, that was a good run, good try. Let's try it again either. You know what I mean? It's probably a little more colorful.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely more colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to me, I just felt like it was just a little too much, and when you have a game like this, you wanted to see this team just come out here and just roll through Dallas. And you come out of here and you have this long rain delay, and we end up getting the game won, but I just felt like over 100 yards and penalties. It just wasn't the discipline team that we wanted to see, and it started off with Jalen Carter with that 15-yard penalty. And I think that took a lot of air out of the stadium right out the gate, and especially to see Dallas march right down the field and score right there on that first drive. It put a lot of pressure on us. I mean, but I think that the team did enough to get it done, but it wasn't the team that I think everybody was hoping we would see. I think everybody wanted to see this team just come out there and just crush Dallas, and we move on to the next game and get ready to go see the Chiefs. But it kind of made us like, oh man, hey, we're starting off kind of slow. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it made me feel like, remember when we'd have those rivalry games and you're in the locker room and all week long, all the reporters and stuff are coming in and asking you, how much do you hate Dallas? And you're just like, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, sure. I almost felt like the players on the team are so young, they bought into it and they were like, yeah, I hate them. And so then like it almost made them play out of character and a little less disciplined because I feel like they fed into the hype of the game a little bit rather than just knowing they're a better team and to come out and like whoop them,
Yeah.
Because I do remember reporters coming all the time and just being like, how much do you hate these guys? And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, just as much as every team I play against.
This isn't college. It's not college. So, the love-hate thing is more of a fan thing, I believe.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that because
and I think we can buy into it more when we're done playing. Like, fuck Dallas. I hate Dallas. But when I was playing, I mean, there's always a chance that you get traded somewhere, or they offer you more money at some point. You know what I mean?
It could happen.
Yeah.
So so you.
I mean, look at Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders down on the Star right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the football.
Yeah. So so that was huge. That was huge. and then even the celebrated brotherly shove. You know, you got a fumble, you got a fumble recovery, and you went and did all of this production celebration off of a fumble recovery. I didn't even know you would even have that much time to do something like that after a fumble recovery. I mean, it's one thing when you say, okay, we return it pick six, or a fumble recovery for a touchdown. It was just a fumble recovery.
Yeah. Well,
and we went and did the brotherly shove, which was cool. All right, awesome.
it was, I mean, it was on point, and it was a pivotal play in the game. You know what I
Huge
mean?
play.
So
Huge play.
to be honest, I love the orchestrated team celebrations that the defense throws together. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
when they're doing that is when our team is at our best. You know what I mean? When
Okay.
it's just like one guy off doing their own thing, then I feel like they're out there playing as individuals. But when they all have a plan, like, hey, if anybody does this, we're all gonna go do this together. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
what you need on the defense. And I feel like every time they've had a Super Bowl run or been super successful, that's the stuff you saw, in the end zone. So I did like that. Uh, you know, Growing pains on the defense. I think that they were just a little excited and had to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from the offense. It seemed controlled. It seemed kind of methodical.
Yeah.
Uh, One thing that I didn't necessarily like, and it was a positive for the team in general, but Jalen, I think he scrambled for what, 4 or 5 first downs, which could be a coverage thing, and you probably know better than me, but it could be a protection breakdown, or it could be just him trying to make something happen. I wouldn't like to, maybe like 1 or 2, but like when you have to rely on him scrambling to get you a first down and keep it moving, I don't want to have to rely on that. It's a nice thing to have, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
something you should lean on.
No, absolutely. That's definitely not something that you want to see him out there running around all the time. I felt like there were some breakdowns in protection. I think that Dallas did a really good job of taking AJ Brown out of the game, make sure they limited Slim, to make sure that they didn't just run all over them. So I thought that there was always safety help over AJ, because I think he only was targeted one time. He didn't get a catch until the fourth quarter. So, I think that Dallas came into this game like, all right, we're going to try to take AJ and take Slim out of the game. I mean, take AJ Brown out of the game and take Slim out of the game as quick as possible. And then we're just going to see if they can run the ball on us, and if you're going to put Hurts out there and just let him try to beat us with his legs. But we're not going to let these receivers take the top off of us. And I think that that's one of the things that this team really focused on, to kind of keep our offense, limited a little bit.
Yeah. So focusing on the offensive line a little bit, dude, how did you think Steen played? I thought Steen did all right. There
I
was
think he.
that one exchange that, where they gave up the sack, where Lane kind of rode the end down, pushed him off, and then it looked like he kicked out because he thought he was supposed to get the edge. But then I saw Saquon was out there too. So then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, should Lane have stayed down inside on that?
Lane should have stayed on the end. That was a mistake on Lane on that particular play right there. And I had said it when I saw it. I mean, because you saw Saquon was there to pick up the outside blitz, so Lane should have stayed on the defensive end. But because you could tell that Steen was not ready,
Right.
for that defensive end to be there. And that sometimes that happens when you have miscommunication like that, and then you're not praying. You didn't play in any preseason games, so so
And they're
these are
new,
some of the
and they're new playing next to each other too,
exactly,
so that's a
so.
whole feel thing. Because even if Lane wasn't responsible for that wide guy right there, a lot of times if you're comfortable with the guy, you just feel each other, and you're gonna know that, hey, Lane's gonna try to get some extra work out there on the edge, and I better take this guy stunting in. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of a bummer to see. And then I was wondering, I was like, are they gonna give that to Lane?
No, they're not. They're going to say, "Hey, Steen, you should have been there,"
Right.
because Lane is up for this award, that they just invented now for offensive line, the blocking award. So he's
No,
like,
what's
"Hey."
that? I don't know about
Well,
that.
they
What's
got this
that?
new offensive line award now that they're going to be giving out at the end of the year, like a Protector of the Year award or something like that. Yeah, they got something now that's for the offensive line.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
I'm down with
yeah.
that. I'm down with that.
Yeah, yeah. So so all sacks, that could have possibly been lanes. Oh no, that's Steen's. You
Yeah,
get that
for
Steen.
sure.
Yeah, Steen. That's all you.
Unless
That's
he
you.
just gets flat out beat.
Yeah. No, you should have been there. You should have known that he was going to slide to the outside guy, even though Saquon was there to pick up the outside blitzer. But it happens, man.
Yeah.
It's that's what happens when you don't play preseason, and and stuff like this happens. Right now, because I think that with teams that don't play any preseason games, these first 2 or 3 games are going to be growing pains anyway, just because it takes a little while to get things to gel.
Yeah, you don't have the preseason anymore. It's not really for the starters to get used or ready for the regular season. You
No,
know, um,
no.
the brotherly shove, effective, but oh man, they were not just rolling them back like they have in years past. I don't think Cam's as low as Kelsey was when he's doing it. Cam doesn't look like he's getting that fire, right
Mm-hmm.
off the ball. It looks like they're really trying to rely on, Landon and Jordan just caving that whole side down.
Yeah.
But I mean, effective still. I just think, God, if I was a center, I would hate that play, bro.
Yeah, it does seem like it sucks for a center.
Oh God, if
Because
I was,
you're just getting crushed, and everybody's right there. It's nose to nose, but it's a very effective play for the Eagles, and it's something that I think that is genius just by the coaching staff that they put together something that is so unique and so it works so well, but that teams don't even want to try it themselves just because they don't want to be the ones that be like, "Hey, you're doing what the Eagles are doing."
right, I know. I was like, why is not everybody doing this?
Yes, yeah, because they don't, because you
I
don't want to
guess,
be.
but I don't think no, you could tell me wrong. Are the Eagles doing anything special, or is it just a sneak?
It's just a sneak, but I think that the technique of it, because you got because to me, okay,
I did see Landon like kind of like put his arm up around Jordan as they were like surging down, almost like they were like daisy chain locking together, which
hmm
I didn't see that last year, and maybe I wasn't paying that much attention to it, but I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense because then nobody's getting through that B gap. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And if
yeah,
they're caving that whole side down, that's what they need is like no penetration. But
yeah, absolutely. Well, because I feel like the brother shove is a rugby play. And that's just me.
yeah,
I think it's a rugby play. And having Jordan Mailata over there, someone that's played the game, he understands it. He gets the push. He gets Landon Dickerson. They get the push there. And then, Jalen Hurts usually drifts off to the left a little bit, and then you get the yards that you need. But, again, I think that these guys they're so good at it and they're so effective at it that no one wants to try it because they're like, I don't want to do the same thing that the Eagles are doing.
yeah,
you
exactly.
know. But I think that this is definitely something that you just have to keep grinding on. Just keep working on this. Getting that chemistry because you can't keep going having games. And then you go back and you say, all right, Saquon Barkley only had 60 yards. Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts had more yards than Saquon Barkley. He beat him by 2 yards. He had 14 carries, 62 yards. Saquon Barkley had 18 carries, 60 yards. He finished with 138 yards rushing, 158 yards rushing. But you want Saquon to be your guy. That's your cowbell.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
eh, and I'm okay with Jalen going out there and he has to scramble. If he has to take the game on your shoulders like that, he finished with 2 touchdowns. Okay, whatever you
And
got
he
to do
is
to get this
sliding.
one.
He is sliding. You know what I
I
mean?
love that he's sliding. He's not trying to run over anybody. He's not trying to take any hits. That's huge right there. He's getting in traffic and he's getting down, and that's showing maturity. And he understands the value that he has to this team. And I think that that's something that definitely is going to pay big dividends as the season continues on.
I do think that the Cowboys did a great job up front of kind of neutralizing Saquon a little bit, if you want to call 60 yards neutralizing. But
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of times where he seemed like he was being met either at the line or maybe a foot behind the line, and
Mm-hmm.
making him, stutter or change directions or something a little sooner than he's used to, maybe. Because I know when he hits that hole, he's hitting it hard. And
Yeah.
I got to go back and watch the film a little bit, but it looked like they were doing up front, they weren't just playing straight up. They're doing little slants and trying to like catch these guys not on their tracks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when defenses do that, they're gonna have some success, but eventually they're gonna get picked up and one's gonna pop big when they start playing defense like that. So I think it's just about how much you can, like, just commit to Saquon on those games when they want to play defense like that.
Yeah, and I think that when it takes Saquon a little time to the timing of the blocking. I think sometimes because it takes him a little time to because you saw it a little bit last year where it took him a little while to like, all right, that block's going to get here to get that timing to where he can start reading the holes. It's totally different when you're in practice. Everything just comes up. The blocks are there where they're supposed to be. They're working up to the second level the way they're supposed to be. But in the game, it's something totally different. So I think it's going to take him like those, just like in preseason, it's going to take him a couple games to get that timing down to when he understands when he can hit in the hole, when he can cut back or whatever. And I think that Coach Stoutland, man, he's going to go in there and he's going to look at this film and see what they need to do and make the corrections and get this team ready to go out there and take on Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you? What was I just gonna say?
Hold on, before we go any further, let me show you this other wine that I got here, man. This is 42. There's one of their wines here, man. These are all wines that are unique to Vynecrest, man. So this is 42, which is a red, man, which is a beautiful, beautiful wine, man.
Why 42? Why 42?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't ask.
Oh man, it's because I'm 42. That's probably why.
You're what?
I'm 42.
Oh, you're 42. Okay, so there you go.
That's probably
all
right.
Right.
Yeah. Is it tasty?
It's beautiful. It's a great wine. I'll get you a bottle. I'll make sure I get you a bottle. Give it to you next week.
Make sure you do that. Yeah. Hey, here's a question for you. Did you stay through the rain delay?
I did stay through the rain delay.
Did it seem like just about everybody did?
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were there.
Because I was sitting there and I was like, dude, no one's gonna leave, but everybody's gonna kind of want. It's getting late, It's 24 to 20 or something like that, and I was just like, geez, and everybody's gonna feel like they can't leave. You know what I mean?
No, you want to stay to finish this. I mean, no, it was 24 to 20. You got to stay and finish this. So I stayed and watched. We just sat in the suite and just chilled out, and saw Hank Basket for a little bit. It was good to see Hank Basket, and just chilled out, man. It was just good sitting around with the guys. They brought out a cake for Westbrook. We sung happy birthday. Nice. That's what you do during the rain delay. I don't know.
Happy birthday, Wes. Okay.
Yeah. Bring out some dominoes. I don't know. I mean, we just sat. It was an hour. It was an hour and 8 minutes, I believe.
I was thinking about that, bro. That's longer than halftime.
No, that's a long time. That's a long time.
As a player, you're all sweaty and hot and loose. You got to go sit down for an hour and then get back into it. That's tough. That's tough.
So,
I was happy to see how they came back out, because it looked like, I don't know, it looked like the Eagles, lasted through that delay a little better than the Cowboys did.
Yeah, they did good, and they came back out, got the job done, man. And that at the end of the day, that's all it's about. You got the win. You got the win, and then you just move on to the next game. There's a lot that has to be corrected, a lot that needs to be corrected. But that's why you got this coaching staff.
Absolutely. Oh, we also have to talk about the return of Mighty Leg.
Yeah, Mighty Leg, yeah, man.
Jake knocking it through from, what was that, like 60?
Yeah, I don't know.
58? I think it was 58 or something like that. And he hit the net, bro. He'd have been good from 65.
Yeah. Mighty Leg went out there. And, no, it was 58 yards.
Yeah, 58.
So it was
He'd have been good from
yards.
65. He hit the net, though.
Yeah. So Mighty Leg was out there just punishing the ball with his leg, which is awesome, man. And also, man, Jahad Campbell really stepped out and really had a good game. I felt like, he's the truth, man. I think he's the real deal, and he seems like he's going to be someone that's going to step in and do really well.
Absolutely. He had a forced fumble, right? I think he had that forced fumble.
Yeah, and he did some really good stuff. So in coverage, was always around the play. I think that he's the real deal at linebacker. He's a really good player.
Yeah, I would agree.
Another one of my IMG guys, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah, another one of my IMG guys, man. And over the next year or so, you're about to start seeing all my linemen coming in. So next year, I think in this year's draft, you're going to see CC, the right tackle for Miami. He's one of my guys. You're going to see Najee Harris, who's the left guard for University of Florida. He's one of my guys. And then Alou Ba, who's the tackle for Maryland. He's one of my guys, too, from IMG. So, yeah, man, next year, I got my guys coming in, man.
I know that the guys down at IMG are, like, younger, right? A little younger? Like, it's
high school.
High school. So, but they're all, like, elite level, right? Elite level
Oh
talent.
yeah.
So when
Like
you're
my
down
offense.
when you're coaching like that, you don't have to piece guys together or cover up for weaknesses. You're basically kind of like coaching a smaller college team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I went to war with 6 offensive linemen. I
Yeah.
only had 6 guys. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
it.
So that was it. Let's go. No backups. Just one rotation guy. Let's go. You
Okay.
know?
Hey,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
do
So
that, you have a backup center or like a guard backs up your center and you have a swing tackle? Like what was the way you did that?
yeah. So what I was doing with Tyler Booker, he was my left tackle. So I'd have him bump down to play guard because I knew he was going to be guard once he left high
Yeah.
school. And I did the same thing with Aluba. Then Najee Harris, who's the left guard for University of University of Florida, I had him snap. So whenever I took out my center, I would put Najee in to play center. And then I had another guard that went to Ethan. I can't think of his name. I think his name is Ethan. He went to ECU, so he would be my other backup center. So that was the rotation. You
Okay.
know,
That's what's up.
hey, keep them rolling, man. And the guys went on and they've gone on to Division 1 and they're doing really well. But in the next year or so, you're gonna see my guys getting drafted, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's got to be cool as a coach too to see that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I remember Jahai when he was there, because he was there during my time there. So yeah, it was his senior year down there. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
man.
it's
So
a good start to the season, I think.
yeah. And then man, go get inducted, dude. I
Yeah,
think we
let me
had
get.
enough talking about this, man. We got to go get inducted into Saginaw Valley
I
Hall
appreciate
of
that,
Fame.
dog. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Let me. I guess we'll catch up next time. I do want to put a shout out to our sponsors this year, PPR, Capital Management. They got on board with us for another season. I appreciate that. They're the ones that allow us to do this and have a lot of fun with it. So, shout out to Steve Meyer and PPR.
Thank you.
But yeah, cheers. And
Yeah, man.
that's it for today, man. We'll wrap up and Trey and I will be in person with each other at the next one. And
Yeah.
cheers until then.
Cheers, man. And if you're ever in the Lehigh Valley area, you definitely have to come out here to Vynecrest and try some of their beautiful wines, man. Beautiful out here.